Hello. Next, please. Okay. So this I already discussed with you, that focus of my presentation will be how much homeopathy is aligned with the WHO traditional medicine strategy, what are key challenges, opportunities, and what are further proposals for standardization and global advancements. Next, please. This introduction I have already given, that WHO recognizes traditional medicine as an integral component of healthcare. Its strategy is a very pivotal moment in global health policy that aiming to ensure equitable access to safe, effective, and people-centered traditional, complementary, and integrative medicine. Thank you. So within this framework, traditional medicine, that includes homeopathy, has potential to further develop and contribute meaningfully to public health, particularly in the domain of chronic disease management, preventive care, well-being, and part of personalized medicine. Homeopathy at a global level is available in almost all the continents of the world. In about 100 countries, this is as per WHO report. And homeopathy is among top 2-3 systems available at global level. That is why it has its own challenges. Currently, in post-pandemic era, there is a different kinds of challenges. One is antimicrobial resistance, emergence of new viral diseases, chronic multimorbidities, and iatrogenic diseases. If you remember, during COVID pandemic, all those people, those who were on long-term medication, especially immunosuppressive drugs, those who were on beta blockers, they were more vulnerable. So this pandemic has taught a lesson that overdose of biomedicine is not appropriate. And one has to have a very healthy lifestyle along with use of traditional medicine, so that chemical-based drugs should be used as minimum as possible. And this shift is very much aligned with this global traditional medicine strategy that focuses on universal access to safe, effective, and people-centered traditional medicine. So this is the vision of the strategy. A world in which there is universal access to safe, effective, and people-centered traditional, complementary, integrative medicine for the health and well-being. So here the focus is not only on health, but on well-being. WHO has a target of ensuring well-being of trillions of people. And to examine another goal is to maximize the contribution of traditional, complementary, and integrative medicine to the highest attainable standards of health and well-being. Its guiding principles are evidence-based practices. WHO is duty-bound to promote only evidence-based practices, which are scientifically validated, effective, where there is a rigorous research, and the most important focus is it should not be harmful. Homeopathy comes in this last issue. It is absolutely safe because of its low doses. But at the same time, although in our clinical experience, we have seen lot of effectiveness in our clinical practice, especially in India, where we get a lot of opportunity to treat patients because of their faith in homeopathy. But a lot needs to be done in research. Then the another principle is holism and health, that views health as a balance of mind, body, and environment. And this is what homeopathy also believes in. Then the third principle is sustainability and biodiversity, that promotes eco-friendly TCIM practices aligned with One Health principles. So far homeopathy has focused mostly on human health. There's a need to focus on agriculture side. There's a need to focus on animal health. There's a need to focus on how environmentally we are aligned with the, are we causing any kind of pollution in the long run? So all these things are important. And then right to health autonomy, that again talks of universal access and informed health choices. Fifth principle is indigenous people's right. That is not very much related to homeopathy, but is a new entrant into this policy. Sixth is culture and health, where we need to focus on the culturally appropriate, inclusive health services. So we need to see what are those areas where homeopathy is culturally accepted, like Europe, like India, like many countries of Latin America, those who were colonized. Their homeopathy is culturally accepted, but due to skepticism and negative propaganda against homeopathy, that belief system is being targeted. So we need to address that, and we need to push homeopathy at a policy level as a culturally accepted system in these areas. People-centered care and community engagement is very important for this. And another is integrative health services. If you look at the history of homeopathy, in India especially, we have grown in silos. All the Indian system of medicine has grown, homeopathy has grown, biomedicine has also grown. But when I look at global situation, many of the biomedicine doctors know about homeopathy. Many of the other traditional systems of medicine like naturopathic doctor, natural healers, they use homeopathy, integrate homeopathy in their practice. Which one is the right model if we have to sustain homeopathy? So we need to discuss, deliberate, and move forward. And the last is health equity. That provides traditional and integrative medicine about equitability. That is to ensure fair access and equal opportunities to all these systems. Now, what is the operative part of this strategy? There are 4 main strategic objectives, 8 directions, 2 under each objective, and there are about 110 action points. Out of these, 41 are for the different governments, member states to follow, 28 are for the WHO Secretariat, and 35 action points are for the stakeholders. That includes professionals, research, academia, industry, practitioners, civil society, and HAMAI. All professional bodies, this is the responsibility, and this strategy has given clear-cut 35 action points for all professional bodies of the world. They are dealing with traditional medicine. So we need to examine these very carefully. Let me move further. These are the 4 strategic objectives which are linked to each other. Number 1, strengthen the evidence based of traditional medicine. Number 2, ensure quality and safety through regulation of education, regulation of its medicinal products, regulation of its clinics. All these things are important. And once they are regulated, integrate them into the health system. And the 4th point is optimize it with cross-sector value of traditional medicine. So 4th is, once it is optimally available at national level, integrate with other cross-sector like with animal health, with agriculture, how much we can use homeopathic medicine in these areas. So let us focus first. First direction is facilitate high-quality traditional medicine research through increased resource allocation. So the funding has to come. So far in India, we are fortunate that government is funding. But at global level, it is not the situation. Pharma companies have to pitch in. They have to increase funding. They have to bring in innovative models, innovative products. And second direction is explore appropriate research approaches and maximize the rational evaluation and technology for this. We need to have an appropriate research model. Only randomized controlled trial may not be enough. Then ensure quality and safety through regulation. Here, first direction is regulatory mechanism for products that are sustainably produced and supplied. I know in many traditional medicine, many of the things like, I was reading once in Ayurveda that you are to make medicine from hathi ka dant, and many of the endangered species, many medicines are prepared from those. So those are not available. So we need to find their appropriate model. Although those things are not available, that much a problem for homeopathy, but still there are many plants which are now not available. There are many such products which are not, their raw material is not standardized. That needs to be ensured in homeopathy as well. And direction number 2 is provide appropriate regulatory mechanism for practices and practitioners. That we are already doing. I'll be discussing little more. Then incorporate safe and effective traditional medicine into national and local health related things. Our policies should be inclusive and optimize the cross-sector value of traditional medicine. Here, cross-sector policies and action plans of health, well-being of societies, and One Health and Sustainable Development. WHO has a certain sustainable development goal. We need to see how much we are aligned. And direction 4.2 is develop inclusive approaches and models for the protection of and access to traditional medical knowledge, and for the fair and equitable share of the benefit arising from these knowledges. So first is member states. Member states we should ensure that more and more countries should include homeopathy in their national health policies, like India. They should allocate more funds and infrastructure, support regulatory reforms like we have done NCH reform, and Indian Ministry of Ayush is a very role model in that way. Here I would like to draw your attention to a paper incorporating evidence-based medicine into health diplomacy, a strategic imperative for equitable health. This paper has been written by one of the officers of Government of India working in International Cooperation Division. This is what is required. So in this paper, what we are talking, first is that traditional medicine, including homeopathy, is rooted in holistic, individualized care and centuries of experimental wisdom. Homeopathy has only 250 years of experience, but many traditional medicines are like that. And WHO advocates for strengthening traditional medicine research, ensure its safe and effective use globally. Integrating traditional medicine with evidence-based medicine is critical for this is the first critical challenge because of the epistemological conflict between traditional medicine and EBM, evidence-based medicine. Traditional medicine is holistic, evidence-based medicine is often reductionist, prioritizing standardized approaches like classic randomized control trial are not enough for homeopathy. Then there are methodological challenges. It is difficult to reconcile the personalized, individualized approaches, but there are possibilities. You are going to hear Dr. Shubhamay Ghosh during this session only. What are those alternative, innovative ways of doing research? Most important thing where I am going to focus is lack of standardization. There are constraints due to issue of regulatory standardization, universally accepted quality control protocols, and different epistemological frameworks. And then there is an asymmetry of evidence. Global health policies are often based on evidence from high-income drugs, which may lack contextual relevance for low and medium income, where traditional medicine is wise. Now, if you see the global situation, who is against traditional medicine? Most of the Western countries and European countries are against this. But China, India, all these middle and lower income, Africa, they are all supporting homeopathy and all traditional medicine. So we have to focus this. Our policies are dictated by them. We need to see how much they can dictate. And this is being argued in this paper. I am not talking from my own side. Another interesting thing this paper talks about, traditional medicine diplomacy. Our Prime Minister made yoga and Ayurveda a global phenomenon. Such support is needed for homeopathy from different member states, from Europe, where it originated, and the countries where it has wide presence. For that, one thing is also important, that homeopath needs to be educated about the diplomatic skills. What those diplomatic skills is, that when to react, when not to react, what to react, and what are the issues where we need to work on it. Then WHO is already working on different aspects. Recently, second WHO summit has been concluded, and now WHO is searching for champions for traditional medicine. I say, let us search in for homeopathy. What are those champions? Those who support homeopathy. Who are those players? Who are those Bollywood actors? Who are those public figures? Who are those politicians? Like we had today a very important, our chief guest, he was a supporter of homeopathy. He delivered a very good, excellent speech in Rajya Sabha about a year or 2 years back. WHO has published a publication. So homeopathy is very much part of WHO agenda. Normally, sometimes some newses have created this kind of misunderstanding. It is not there, but homeopathy is part of WHO agenda because WHO has published, but more publication needs to come. And for that, our stakeholders and partners have to have focus on, these are the 5 areas. One is standardization of education, standardization of research, regulations and standardization of products, recognition, acknowledging homeopathic potential in managing specific diseases, and inclusiveness, incorporating homeopathy as part of other traditional medicine. So what is this? Can we afford to grow in isolation? I don't think now. After this strategy, one of the component is cross-sector collaboration. We need to see what is common with me and Ayurveda. What is common with me with yoga? Can I integrate yoga? Can I integrate which part of? And here I would like to share my experience of when I was Director General. I was asked to appear before a parliamentary committee that was chaired by none other than the then HRD Minister Murli Manohar Joshi. He was a physicist, but a son of a Ayurvedic doctor. Once I gave elaborate presentation of about 40 minutes on different research. We are doing A, we are doing B. He asked simple one question: how much you know about Ayurveda? I said, sir, little bit. Do you know homeopathy is also one of the component of Ayurveda? Do you know about bhasmas? Do you know how those are being prepared? How your systems are aligned with those? Whether they are aligned, whether they are not aligned? What are the situations? Fortunately, I knew few things, so I could discuss. But this is what is expected from a policy maker who is sitting there and is just listening what I am saying as director. So that is the importance of inclusiveness. Once we are, especially when I talk at global level, people expect that I already know yoga. People expect that I already know Ayurveda. I was Director Ayush. Most of the people used to come for Ayurvedic consultation to me. Sir, you tell us what is right, what is wrong. You are making policies of Ayurveda. So we need to have some knowledge, and fortunately in our NCH has made certain changes where people are now know about each other better than the previous one. So in this context, our ministry is a model ministry. Recognition to homeopathy within the Ayush paradigm is very unique. Equal status to physician is also very important. Our research councils are asset. Our statutory commissions are another asset for regulatory changes, and our provisions in Drug and Cosmetic Act, our national institutes, they are all assets for homeopathy. But where I'm going to talk is standardization. Once I was asked by ministry, what is the net contribution of CCRH of last 40 years? I came back. I had discussion with my officers, and this is the net contribution now. These are standard treatment guidelines. Are these perfect standard treatment guidelines? May not be, but are at least available. That can be further improved. Now, several volumes of these standard treatment guidelines have come, and almost all specific diseases that a homeopath see in his clinic are discussed here. We have discussed their diagnostic criteria, to what extent research has taken place, how to treat these things scientifically, and all the traditional literature like Allen, Nash, Kent, all those are important from historical perspective, but these are the new things that every homeopath should adopt so that it can be further improved. Now the subject is further standardization for globalization of homeopathy. For that, we need to have a first national standard. So Bureau of Indian Standard, that is a separate body than Ministry of Ayush. They have now established a homeopathic sectional committee along with others, 7 sectional committee of all the Ayush components, recently only for the last about 2 years. And during these 2 years, we have held several meetings with all the experts, and these experts we draw from all walks of life. Their industry is there, our academia is there, our research persons are there, our drug regulators are there, pharmacopoeia specialists are there, and we as policy makers are there, and we are discussing and deliberating. And so far, we are working in all aspects of homeopathy, right starting from clinic standardization to well-being center standardization to product standardization, so that we can take all these things at global level. There are several working committees consist of these persons, and we are working on these. Because of the time, I'm not talking about all these names of these committees. There is this, here I would just like to call upon on this slide that whenever any standard is made, that is made public, that is being sent to all the medical colleges, all the academia, all the practitioners, these are widely circulated through BIS website and through WhatsApp groups and everywhere. So here, we all are required to contribute to the extent we can, because many things are very highly technical. But as a common sense, because ultimately these are going to affect all of us, are they the right standard? So you can all have possibility of giving some input when these standards are sent for wide circulation. And here, we have developed a proper roadmap for the standardizations of all the aspects. So far, several standards have already been notified. 22 standards have been notified. These are available on website. I am not naming all these things because of the paucity of time. But what is important is Standards Club. All academic institutions, all medical colleges of homeopathy should have standard club where student and faculty, especially of pharmacy, should discuss all these draft standards and give input to BIS. Here comes the role. Here comes all the laboratory roles of all these medical colleges, and we are going to have a good meeting with NCH to ensure that every medical college must have standard club. And last is that there is a possibility of taking some research grant also. If you are in a position to develop a new standard in homeopathy, you can even approach Bureau of Indian Standard, and there is a possibility of taking some nominal grant and develop that kind of thing. So strategic opportunities for homeopathy is evidence generation and research. Dr. Kaushik is going to talk about it. There are many new areas like research on signaling molecules, research on nanoparticles, which are going to be discussed by Dr. Bilare, and LMHI is developing a 10 years road plan for doing all these things in a systematic way, but your contribution is needed. Here is a QR code, if one of you can take a photograph of it, and you can participate in the survey where you can say how stakeholders can contribute. So more and more, and this survey is open for another 1 week, so all of us can contribute, HMI can contribute, and these are 3 phases. I don't want to elaborate now. From LMHI side, we are going to have a lot of discussions during this year. So friends, our conclusion is we need to modernize education with standards and research. Our institution should focus on high-quality research-oriented education. CCRH has already done a lot of work in this area, and we need to strengthen those areas more. Standard clubs needs to be established, and our training should prepare students to handle global challenges. Challenges for homeopathy are not limited to national level. There are global challenges. So WHO traditional medicine strategy offers an unprecedented opportunity to reposition homeopathy as a credible, evidence-informed, and culturally resonant component of traditional medicine and global health. By aligning with this strategy, principle and objectives, and through coordinated action among stakeholders, homeopathy can contribute significantly to achieve universal health coverage, health equity, and sustainable goal. A decade of strategic investment is needed. Innovations and collaboration is essential to safeguard homeopathy worldwide, which is the prime aim of all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this well-explained presentation. Now I would call upon Dr. Subhash Kaushik, sir, for his presentation.